Learn the latest blockchain trends and explore investment opportunities in the crypto market. Welcome to a new perspective on crypto. When people mention meme coins, what comes to mind? A get-rich-quick myth? A worthless token? Or the playful Shiba Inu with a playful smile printed on Dogecoin? Meme coins have long been viewed by mainstream investors as casino chips in the crypto world, products of pure speculation and emotion. However, the protagonist we're discussing today may overturn your perception. It's also a dog, a meme coin, but its creation wasn't a joke. It stemmed from a profound industry crisis. Its mission isn't to poke fun at people, but to save the world. It's Bonk, the first magic dog on the Solana blockchain. Today, we'll delve into the core of this project and explore a core question. How did a seemingly playful meme coin become both a rebel and a savior of a top public blockchain in its most perilous moments? When the dust settles, the frenzy fades, and the meme-like veneer of Bonk fades, what will it truly mean for us, the more sober investors? To understand Bonk, we must turn back the clock to the end of 2022, one of the crypto world's darkest moments. Back then, the empire of industry giant FTX collapsed, leaving the entire market in shambles. Among the public chains hardest hit by this catastrophe was Solana, because FTX and its founder, SBF, had been deep participants and supporters in the Solana ecosystem. Solana's reputation and price plummeted with FTX's collapse. Community confidence waned, developers fled, and pessimism enveloped the entire public chain, with many even declaring, "Solana is dead." Amidst this despair, on Christmas Day 2022, Bonk emerged. It was no ordinary project launch. It was more like an uprising, a battle cry. It was created by a group of anonymous core Solana contributors, artists, and developers. Bonk emerged as a direct response to the crisis of trust caused by the FTX debacle, and as a countermeasure to traditional crypto projects dominated by venture capital, rife with secretive transactions and unfair distribution. Bonk's rebellion is vividly reflected in its distribution method. Think of traditional crypto projects as a high-end restaurant. VCs and insiders have already settled into private rooms, enjoying the most sumptuous first course at a fraction of the price. By the time ordinary users are able to enter, they're often left with only the leftovers. Bonk, on the other hand, is like hosting a grand community banquet. There was no pre-sale, no VC shares, and even the founding team didn't reserve any tokens. Instead, it directly gifted 50% of the total supply of 100 trillion via airdrop to the most active and loyal users of the Solana ecosystem, including NFT collectors, DeFi users, artists, and developers. This was a highly impactful performance art piece in the crypto world. It sent a clear message. This doesn't belong to us. This belongs to you. Everyone who chose not to leave when Solana was mired in its woes. This narrative of born from adversity, returned to the community, instantly ignited the Solana community's long-suppressed passion. Bonk became more than just a token. It became a totem, a cultural symbol embodying decentralization, fairness, and grassroots spirit. Spirit and slogans alone cannot win a war. Bonk's rapid growth from a cultural symbol to an integral part of the Solana ecosystem is due to its clever use of three weapons. Bonk didn't attempt to create a new, complex public chain. Instead, it chose to be a standard SPL token, Solana's native token. To put it another way, Bonk didn't reinvent the wheel. It simply slapped a cool dog sticker on the world's fastest sports car, Solana, and then stepped on the accelerator. As Solana's native token, Bonk perfectly inherits all of Solana's strengths: millisecond speed transactions and negligible transaction costs. This allows Bonk to penetrate every corner of the Solana ecosystem, like water with frictionless ease. Having gained the community's support, Bonk quickly launched its utility offensive. No longer content with simply being a mascot, it strives to be truly useful. In the DeFi space, it has become a Lego building block, seamlessly integrating into decentralized exchanges like Orca and Radium as a liquidity reward or trading pair. In the NFT space, it has become the universal change of mainstream NFT marketplaces, such as Magic Eden, widely used for NFT payments, tipping, and incentives. In gaming, it has become the in-game currency of many blockchain games, allowing users to purchase items or participate in gambling. In payments, it can even be used for tipping and merchant settlements through Solana Pay. See, the rise of Bonk and the resurgence of the Solana ecosystem have formed a remarkable symbiotic relationship. Bonk saved Solana's hearts, while the applications within the Solana ecosystem have given Bonk real value. A common problem with meme coins is their massive supply. Bonk's initial supply of 100 trillion is also an astronomical figure. To combat dilution, Bonk has introduced a deflationary mechanism, token burns. According to the article, Bonk will conduct regular token burns. For example, in July 2025, over 1 trillion Bonk will be destroyed. More importantly, the project has pledged to destroy another 1 trillion tokens when the number of on-chain holders exceeds 1 million. This burn mechanism, tied to ecosystem milestones, provides the market with a consistent and predictable deflationary story, greatly boosting holder confidence. Now that we've covered Bonk's comeback story, let's step back from the frenzy and, with the sober eye of an investor, examine the 4 major challenges this rebel may face in the future. The first dilemma: the governance challenge of a state without a leader. Some believe that the lack of a formal roadmap and a core team is a weakness of Bonk. I believe this is more than just a weakness. It represents a profound governance paradox. A decentralized, leaderless rebel army is undoubtedly effective and inspiring in overthrowing the old order. But after the revolution is victorious, who will govern the country? Who will formulate long-term development plans? Who will conduct business negotiations with large external institutions? While complete decentralization brings fairness, it can also lead to inefficiency and a lack of strategic direction. In the ever-changing world of crypto, whether Bonk, a ship without a leader adrift in the wind, can consistently find its way through the turbulent waters of the future remains a huge unknown. The second dilemma: the fate of prosperity and loss together. Dependence on Solana is another weakness of Bonk. I prefer to call it symbiotic risk. Bonk's success is deeply tied to Solana's resurgence. Almost all of its use cases are built on Solana. This deep connection served as an accelerator for Bonk during Solana's rapid growth. However, if Solana were to encounter another black swan event like the FTX incident, or suffer a major technical security vulnerability, Bonk, parasitic on it, would have no lifeboat. This fate rests almost entirely on Solana. The third dilemma: can utility outperform speculation? Bonk has indeed built a wealth of use cases, but we must calmly ask, is it this real utility that supports its market capitalization, or the inherent speculative nature of meme coins? Are there currently massive numbers of users using Bonk daily to buy NFTs and play games? Or are there even more people simply holding onto it, hoping for the next price surge? If the vast majority of demand still stems from speculation, then the so-called utility is merely a fragile veneer. Once market sentiment reverses, this sugar coating can easily be pierced. The fourth dilemma: the pull of a trillion supply. The initial supply of 100 trillion is a heavy yoke. Despite a burn mechanism, the current rate of destruction is a drop in the bucket compared to the total supply. This massive supply acts like an invisible gravitational pull, constantly limiting the potential for price increases. For Memecoin investors who dream of Bonk rising to 1 cent or even $1, this is mathematically impossible. This is something all investors must clearly understand before entering the market. Combining all of the above analysis, we return to the original question: how should we, as investors, view Bonk? I believe that investing in Bonk, to some extent, goes beyond investing in a single Memecoin. It's more like buying an ETF holding a basket of stocks in the Solana ecosystem. Because Bonk has deeply permeated every aspect of the Solana ecosystem, its value is highly positively correlated with overall ecosystem activity, user growth, and capital flows. If you're bullish on the Solana ecosystem's long-term growth and believe it will produce more killer applications, then Bonk may be one of the most direct, yet riskiest investments to capture its growth. This makes its risk-return profile unique. Its risk is no longer the zero-return risk of traditional meme coins, but rather the systemic risk of the entire Solana ecosystem. Its advantage lies in its fair launch model, which eliminates the risk of ruthless sell-offs by early VCs and insiders, as is common with other projects. So, if you're interested, what key signals should you monitor? 1. Growth in holder addresses. This is the most important indicator of true adoption. Observe whether the number of on-chain holding addresses is growing consistently and healthily, especially during periods of price consolidation or decline. 2. Depth of ecosystem integration. Are emerging, leading applications on Solana continuing to integrate Bonk? This reflects the stability of Bonk's currency within the ecosystem. 3. Execution of the burn mechanism. Closely monitor the progress and scale of its token burns, as this directly impacts whether its long-term deflationary narrative can be realized. 4. Cross-chain exploration. Bonk is exploring expansion to other blockchains through cross-chain bridges like Wormhole. This is crucial for mitigating its symbiotic risk with Solana. The story of Bonk is a fascinating parable about how a meme coin acquires a soul. It began as a rebellion in times of crisis and ultimately woven itself into the very fabric of the Solana ecosystem. It has demonstrated to the entire industry that a meme coin can have a serious mission beyond a joke and carry real utility beyond speculation. However, the challenges ahead are equally formidable. At its inception, Bonk asked the world, can a community save itself? Judging by Solana's resurgence, the answer seems to be yes. Today, the question facing investors is, can this grassroots revolutionary spirit ultimately translate into lasting, growing economic value? The answer to this question remains uncertain, requiring continued observation and reflection. The above is informational only, not investment advice. Thank you for your continued support. See you next time.